friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design, and I'm glad you could join me here today. I have a fun little process video to do with you. As you know, Valentine's Day is over, so what do we need to start getting ready for? You guessed it, St. Patrick's Day. So I have some really cute little St. Patrick's Day cards that can function as gifts as well to make with you today. I'm using Authentique's Emerald Collection. And I'll just bring this in and show it to you very quickly. I apologize for it being all cut up, but I have been having a blast with this paper. I have Irish in my heritage, and so I love St. Patrick's Day, and this is just the most fun collection. The patterns are just tremendous. Everything, I love the monochromatic color palette because it just makes it so easy to design. And the little images, look at these. How sweet are these? Love them. And the patterns are phenomenal. Of course, that's what you expect from Authentique. Their patterns are always so great. Lots of four-leaf clovers. This great diagonal stripe, which I just love. Horseshoes. This wonderful argyle print, more clovers, this beautiful kind of Celtic scroll, and then this sticker sheet, which as you can see I have decimated because it's fabulous. So these are the little cards we're going to make today. They're all made exactly with the same little recipe, so I thought you would like to see how you can make them differently just by changing up the image. But they all measure 5 by 5 inches square. And I made little rosettes with my Tim Holtz die, vintage buttons from my vintage button jar, these sweet little images, a little metal key, stickers from the sticker collection, banner flags that I cut out. This one has a die cut that I've embossed with gold embossing powder and green glitter and some stick pins. And then when you open it up, there's a little sentiment up here at the top with just different pieces of scraps that I pieced together. And then down on the bottom, there's a fun pocket with this little fold-out folio. So a little tag made with a sticker. I do this by backing them with cardstock. One of the cute images from the paper collection, stickers, and then inside a little tea bag in the pocket. So this is what we're going to make today. And let me just set these aside. This one is basically the same. This is just a little girl. This is a little boy. But the same general idea. I used a doily instead of a die cut. And on the inside, the same thing. Eat, drink, and be lucky. Fussy cut image from the collection. And then another fun little folio. So let me put these aside and we will get started. I'm going to bring in my scoring tool and I'm going to show you how to make a pocket without ever actually having to really form it. This is Authentique's artisan white cardstock. It's got a beautiful almost linen texture to it, and it's a nice weight. It's not too heavy. It scores beautifully. So I cut a 12 by 12 sheet, 5 inches wide by 12 inches long, and then you very simply place this on your scoring tool. You score at 5, you score at 10, and look at this. This little flap becomes your pocket. Let me move my scoring tool out of the way and we'll go to work on making this. And I need my glue bottle. Okay, so I like to start on the inside of my cards. I do this for a lot of reasons. Chief being that it's a lot easier to create the cover, create the inside. You don't smash the flowers on the cover and that sort of thing. So I took some green cardstock from my cardstock stash and I cut this to measure 4 7/8 inches square. And we're just going to glue this down, line it up, and this is going to be our pocket. Make sure everything is straight. I don't know if y'all struggle with keeping things straight, but I certainly do. And then I cut a piece of this pretty shamrock 4-leaf clover, and this measures 4 3/4 inches because I just want there to be like a little border all the way around this. So this guy goes down here, and get him straight. This is so much harder to do. I know I say it every time, but it's so much harder to do in a video because you can't put your head directly over it, so you're working kind of at a funny angle. But you get the idea. And there's that. Let me just burnish that down. And then up here at the top, and this piece is actually cut here we go, to go like this. So we're going to glue that in place. I don't know what your family usually does for St. Patrick's Day, but I usually do a family dinner, and I make Irish soda bread, and we have shepherd's pie, and it's just a wonderful family time. So that goes like this. And then this is a little strip. Let me grab my ruler. This is 2 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And we're just going to use this right here across the middle, just kind of break up all those diagonal stripes. And then this is one of the little sentiments that I just cut out, inked the edges, and I used a sticker border strip on that little belly band. Whoops. And we're just going to glue that down right there. Let me just sop up this extra glue. I'm not quite straight. That looks much better. Okay, so then down here on the flap for the pocket, I've just cut another piece and inked the edges. We're just going to add some glue like this. Just to decorate that. And then what I like to do is take a circle punch. This is a 1 3/8 inch circle punch. And I'm just going to line this up, punch a little thumb hole, then come back in with your glue and just do a little bit of glue on each side, and then fold this up, and there's your pocket. And it really does not get any easier than that. So from this sticker pack, I want to take this tartan plaid, and I'm just going to run it along the bottom, just above the fold. And then I'm going to trim this off with my craft knife, because I find if I cut it first, I always either cut it too short or too long. But that's a good way to manage that for me. So then on, now we can go ahead. You see, oh no, I wanted to put this sentiment from the collection down here on the pocket. Just kind of dress up the pocket. See how nice that looks? So basically that's the inside of our card done. Now to make this little folio, we'll put all these pieces aside. I took an 8.5 by 11 sheet of green cardstock, and I cut it just about 3 1/4 inches wide. You could go actually exactly 3 1/4, but how I determined it was I took one of the images and I wanted there to be a margin all the way around it. So that's how I did that. Then I just put it on my scoring tool on the long side, and I scored at 3 1/8 and 6 1/4 and 9 1/4. And this is going to make our little inside pocket and folio where we can tuck in a yummy chocolate for this one. So on the cover, I wanted this lucky horseshoe. And this is just one of the cut aparts from the collection. So that just goes down right here. Just like that. That looks pretty straight. Then we're going to put this piece, which I actually need to trim. You can see I didn't get that quite trimmed. Hold on, let me bring my trimmer in. A little white edge on the end of that I don't like. So there, that looks better. Looks more polished. Going to add our glue to the back. And I want this to go right. Oops, nope, this goes up here. Sorry, disregard that. And then, oh, I got these confused. Hold on. The horseshoe goes on the inside. Let me see if we can get that off. No one's going to see the mess underneath. This is real life crafting. If this has never happened to you, you just haven't been crafting long enough yet. This is a regular occurrence in my world. No one's going to see that. No worries. Okay. The sentiment goes on the cover, and that makes so much more sense to me now. Just like that. Then this horseshoe goes here, because this is a short panel, and you have to do that so that the little folio will close. So we're just going to glue this up, and then this guy's going to go right here, and it's going to look great. And no one's going to know. I'm just going to take my work rag and burnish this out. See? Looks great. No worries. And then in this middle panel, I want to use the gingham, which is the back side of, do I want to do that or do I want to do this? I kind of like the way that looks. What do y'all think? I like that because it breaks up. I like that. So let's do it this way. What do you say? And then on this top portion, I've got a little piece of this horseshoe pattern. This does not have to be a full piece because the flap is going to come up and cover that. Okay, so we've lined this in the middle. Now we want to line our pocket with this patterned piece. And I think I actually like the shamrock side. Judgment call there, but either one looks great because this is such a pretty collection. So get that glued down there straight. Okay. I'm telling you guys, this is the hardest thing I do all day, is getting things straight and even. I actually have a T-square that I pull out sometimes. Then we're going to cut a little thumb hole, just like right there. And just like we did on the card, we're just going to glue the two sides of the flap. I'm going to let that kind of marinate for a minute. I've got a cute little tag to stick in the pocket, and once that glue has set up, we'll stick our chocolate in there too, but if we try to do that right now, it'll unglue it. So this is going to go inside this pocket, just like that. And the chocolate will go inside. But now we're ready to do the cover. So let me bring these things in. And to do the cover, you want to cut from the same green cardstock 4 7/8 inch square. Then on top of that, you're going to cut another square that is 4 3/4 inches. And you're just going to glue that down. I also build my card fronts, not all I build all my card front and then I load it onto the card. It's easier, I find, to do that. So Then what I want to do is I cut a panel of this pretty shamrock paper, which is the reverse side, and this is 2 7/8 by 4 1/2. So 2 7/8 by 4 1/2, and this is going to go over on the right hand side, and you just want the margin, top, bottom side to be even all the way around. Then glue that down. This is a great, really basic card sketch that you can use really for any occasion with any collection. And it's just kind of fun to have the color, it's almost like color blocking because you have this little margin in between. And then I made a belly band, 2 inches by 4 7/8, and I matted it on the same green, and this is going to go right in the center. Just like that. And center that. All right. Then I have this chipboard piece, and you can see what I did. This is a good tip. Half of this was going to be hidden under the image, so I just went ahead and cut it in half. So you get more bang for your buck that way. It's like having a buy one, get one free, which I love. And this is going to sit right here. We want to center that with that belly band, just like that. Then we bring in our image, and I trimmed this down just a little bit so that the image is 2 7/8 inches wide by 3 7/8 inches wide, and then I just matted it on some of the leftover white cardstock. And I did put packaging. I save all my priority mailboxes that my design team stuff comes in, and I glued this to the 1/2 because you have to make this even with this chipboard, if that makes sense. But before we glue that down, we need to add our banner flags, and I cut these out with my Tim Holtz, I think they're called ribbon banners or something like that. It's a strip die, and I just cut a whole bunch of them out, and we're just going to glue these to the back and kind of stagger them a little bit because I think that looks interesting. And I like the way that looks. And now we're ready to add our glue to the back. Just like this. And I want this to be, again, I'm working to center things. I think that looks good. So just press that in place, burnish that. And then I have another rosette that I want to go right here. And I made these with a Tim Holtz rosette die. And of course, my hot glue gun is empty, so let me add some hot glue. This is just a great basic die. I find I use it a lot, but then I really like rosettes, so that's probably why. So that's going to go right there. And then I got in my vintage button jar. This looked kind of Celtic to me, so I cut the shank off the back with my button tool. I'm just going to add some hot glue to this and put it right in the center of my rosette, and just hold it there for a second so that it will set up. And then this is a forest green taffeta ribbon. I got this from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and I just tied a double loop bow, and this is going to go right over here on the side, just like that. And of course, you always have to come back at the end and get all the little hot glue spider webs out of the way. And while that sets up, I like to just kind of fluff my bow, make it go where I want it to go. Then I have these beautiful little birdie flowers. Aren't they gorgeous? These are they're called Classic, and I just think they're fabulous, and I love the little gold center. It's perfect for St. Patrick's Day. So this one is going to go right here. We'll hold that for a second. And then these two smaller ones, I'm just going to kind of do them together like this. Add my hot glue to the back and put one here. Oops, glue webs. It's inevitable. And I'm going to put one right here on the other side. Kind of set that in there. Ooh, I don't like this glue, hot glue. It's really stringy. That's disappointing. All right. So that looks good. And then I have a little key, and I found this. The people from DAP were at CHA, and this is called Rapid Fuse All-Purpose Adhesive, and I'm kind of crazy about it. Look, you have really good control with how much glue comes out, and this stuff is strong. So I'm just going to put my key right here, and it sets up in 30 seconds, which is awesome. And it really holds, like metal, plastic, all the things that are difficult to glue down on a card. It really works. And then I just have to come in and add my little leaf to my flower cluster, because I really like the way leaves look. Flower clusters look with leaves, so I just glue that under the petal. And again, we'll come back and get rid of all the mess. Now this, we're going to load onto the front of our card, and I always double check to make sure I am right side up. Trust me, I've made my share of upside down cards. Because my glue gun is hot, I'm just going to go ahead and use that. And I'm going to lay this flat actually, because it will work so much better. Just line that up, press it down. And then the last step is I've got a couple of little stick pins. I'm just going to add underneath the rosette. Like that. Now we can come in. We can probably add our chocolate to our little folio now. Tuck that right in there. Close this up. Put it in the pocket. Add our little tag. And there you go, guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day. That is really quite an easy card to make, and they're so cute. I love this collection. It's super fun to work with. I've got, I also made a banner and some really cute little dresses that you can find on my blog. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have fun making these St. Patrick's Day cards. The luck of the Irish be with you, and I'm going to go get my craft on.